Hey beautifuls, I'm coming on in big celebration. It's celebrating my birthday, so of course you can say happy birthday. It was a few days ago. If you didn't say happy birthday, you can say happy birthday to me. Don't expect you to, can if you want. But I was like, in celebration, it's actually of the opening of Trust Intuition Training School. But I was like, it's also celebrating my birthday as well. So in celebration of Trust Intuition Training School being opened and released, Trust Intuition certification to become a certified intuitive healer and life purpose activator, we're celebrating the opening with the early bird opening. So the early bird investment pricing of Trust Intuition. That early bird will never be available again. So it's a kind of a really big deal, and hence why I'm doing a live stream about it, because it's really important that you guys know about this, because it'll be the final time that I'm ever offering early bird. And we're going to close early bird next Thursday. So it's only for a few days, well, just under a week that early bird's open. When Trust Intuition opens in November, it will be the full price. So if you ever want to get into Trust Intuition to become a certified intuitive healer, this is where we cover everything that I have lived, walked through, teach, preached, all the things. This is where you'll find it. So I've just come out of our Trust Intuition Training School. We just did our Vision Quest expansion this morning. And so we're all expanded and really clear. So the thing about living your dreams and creating your dreams and, manifesting your life and using the law of attraction is that something that's so unspoken about is that when you start working on your dreams and working on those things, stuff comes up, blocks come up, things come up that will stop you, or it's not working. And it's so important to understand that this is the breakthrough that you're about to happen. Like, it gets harder just before you have a shift. Yeah, it gets harder because your stuff's coming up to clear. Your stuff's coming up to purge out. It's stuff that people don't talk about, but it's so common. And you either get physically sick or you'll be emotional, depending on how you process like your subconscious stuff, basically. And this is what we do in Trust Intuition, is we really understand how to shift that out, how to clean it out, how to do all those things. So hello and welcome. So this is a big celebration live stream, and I'm just feeling so on purpose and so in alignment after feeling like so long I was like in big recalibration mode. And as soon as Trust Intuition Training School has like landed and launched, everything else is coming through in like big like Niagara Falls style. So let me share this live stream, and then we're going to jump in of whatever messages wanting to come through for you guys on this live stream. So let me just concentrate and share this, of course. Thank you for the flowers. All right. So if I concentrate, nope, wrong one. Of course. Hi. So if you guys have got questions or want to let me know how you're feeling, I feel like there's a little bit of an energy update that wants to come through with this while I'm just sharing this live stream. So I'm just going to share this in one more place. Feel a little energy update thing flowing through. Yay, welcome for first timers here. Lovely to have you here. Where am I from? So I'm in Australia. I'm in Queensland, Australia. All right, so I'm just going to bring up the comments so I can see guys. Hello. Okay, awesome. So welcome for you guys. So the purpose of this live stream, I'm going to share whatever message starts channeling through for you guys. And I'm also going to share with you that I got my computer in the way here. I'm just wondering if that clears up so you guys can see. Yeah, there we go. So trust intuition. So the training school, the trust intuition training school, like 3 months ago, I went through, I like hit a wall in every area of my life, right? And it was almost like, and I got the intuition to just stop working for 3 months. And I'm like, look what I do. I can't just stop working. But I did. I stopped trying to figure it out, and I just let everything sleep, and I just stopped, as hard as that was, because, you know, like, need to figure everything out, you know, but it's surrender. I released control and surrendered, as, you know, hard as that was. Did essentials what I needed to do, of course. And like, I'm going to stop Tuesday Tarot after like 6 years straight of writing Tuesday Tarot, never missing a tarot, for example. But what I did do was I just let everything sleep that was non-essential. And I did not know that it's probably, and I shared this in the Trust Intuition Training School this morning, I was like, if I really looked back through the group posts, it's probably to the day of 3 months that Trust Intuition Training School birthed. And it's literally a combination of everything that I've ever grown, walked through, done. You know, I've been walking this path since 2005. Got a lot of training skills under my belt, experience, wisdom, all the things, right? And with Trust Intuition Training School, we just did the Vision Quest this morning, and I'm really excited because in launch of the Trust Intuition Training School, Trust Intuition certification. So if you've seen the training school, there's different levels that you can join in, yeah, different tiers, different levels that you can join us. And Trust Intuition to become a certified intuitive healer, the early bird is open in celebration of the launch of the school, which just feels, it's so much bigger than what I can feel. And ever since I've launched that, so many other things are coming through. And I'm like, of course. And this is what I always talk about. I'm like, in service of your purpose, you must take the first step. Like, if I didn't stop and listen to that intuition and like stop working for 3 months, you know, and if I didn't listen to that intuition, the training school wouldn't have launched. The training school wouldn't have birthed. So it's pretty powerful. So Bridget says, how long did it take for your intuition to be on point and stronger? Well, I've been doing this since 2005, right? Now, I'm not saying it has to take you that long. The thing that has accelerated my intuition is definitely learning skills, is definitely working with mentors, and is definitely working with clients. If you want to accelerate your growth, work with a mentor and work with clients. Now you might be like, oh, I don't do clients, I don't have a business. But like, when we step into this, you have to understand that you wouldn't be here if you didn't already help people. Like, you probably have people come up to you and they say, like, they just tell you their life story, and then they'll like finish the sentence with, I've never told anyone that ever before. I've never shared that before. And they kind of almost question themselves because they're like, did I just tell you that? But that's what we do naturally, right? And as empaths, we also absorb everything. So we like absorb everything that they've shared. We absorb energy. We feel flattened at times. We're usually more emotional or sensitive than other people. And if we don't understand that gift, we don't really know about it, and we feel like something's wrong with us. So something that we, you know, go to the doctor for, get a pill, most of society, like, you know, it's just because they don't understand the energetics, they don't understand their energy, they don't understand their intuition, they don't understand what they're receiving. And this is where I help you fine tune your intuition, like advance your psychic skills, like understand what's your energy, not somebody else's energy, and uncover your life purpose. Because under all of that, when you trust intuition, your life purpose blooms, but there is more that uncovers from that, right? Nalina says, it's just funny now. Yeah, it's pretty funny, right? When somebody just tells you their life story and then they're like, I've never told anyone that before. So in Trust Intuition, to become a certified healer, we learn all the ins and outs, and especially boundaries, so we're not just taking that on all the time. Yeah, that's funny, right? I'm going to put in the Trust Intuition to become a certified intuitive healer link. I'm going to pop that in the comments because the early bird's only open for a short time. So we'll be closing the doors for early bird forever next Thursday-ish. So yeah, Thursday, like be Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, depending on where you are in the world is why I'm saying Thursday-ish. So it'll be Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning, depending on where you are in the world, yeah? So I'll just pin that comment as well so you guys can see it there. If you've got questions about it, send me a message or ask me or anything. Bridget says, oh my God, the energy is crazy. I've allowed really negative people in because I felt like I could fix them. Yeah, that's kind of where we start in a way. You know, like, you know, ask any healer, they would have all walked that path. Yeah, and it's because we are a healer and we can heal them. But there is certain boundaries and aspects of like how we help people without helping people without taking on all their stuff, yeah? Most of the time, people who do have this gift, like the way that we really work, you know, through it and step into it on a grander scale is by, you know, creating a business, because most of us are entrepreneurs at heart. 100%, we don't fit well into normal mainstream jobs. Like if we do, we usually hate it, or we just like, oh, don't want to keep doing this, or we've got a little side gig on the side anyway. So it is really about learning boundaries. And then, you know, it's like, well, we feel energy and we do this all the time, so we might as well get paid for it, and we might as well live an abundant life in the way that we want to live on our terms, you know, because usually freedom is quite important to us as well, but we get stuck in trying to help people. And it's like this big journey of trusting yourself, and where do we step in and help people and where do we not, right? There is a boundary with that there. So tell us about your life. What specifically would you like to know? I've done a live stream. I think it was like a 2.5 hour live stream on my life. So there's lots I could talk about. I could write a book about it. So yeah. But it's awesome to realize, Bridget, you know, when you say I've allowed really negative people in because I felt like I could fix them. And it's like, well, we won't be doing that again, right? And I think sometimes we do things and then we look back and we're like, oh, we shouldn't do that. But it's part of like us stepping into, actually, I'm not going to do that again. But then we do it again and we're like, oh my God, I did it again. But what you'll find is you'll pull yourself out faster and faster and faster, and then it'll just get to a point like Nalini and you just laugh at them. You're not laughing at them, but it's funny that you're like, oh, here we go again. Like, you know, you understand it. It's not we're laughing at them. I trust you guys know where I'm coming from with that. So yeah. And in the vision quest that we did in the training school, so when you join Trust Your Intuition to become a certified healer, so as I said, early birds open now. The link is in the pinned comment. You can find it in the title. You can find it on my page. Send me a message if you've got any questions about it. But the early bird, it'll be the final time that we open early bird ever, because it's in celebration of the training school. When Trust Intuition opens in November, it will be the full price, which is $4.5K. So early birds open now. Check out the links. Send me a message if you've got questions. So in the vision quest this morning, we really like dug into questions around, you get access to the training school, by the way, when you know, join Trust Intuition, the certification. So in the vision quest, it's like we went through, like, it was so expanding. Of course, it's called Vision Quest Expansion. And it's interesting, like when that channeled through, like to hold that class, like, you know, always turn up and trust whatever channels through. It's always the way that I've worked. It's how I've created the life that I've created, is following it intuition. It's like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, cool. And like when you turn up, then the information comes through. When you take the step, then the information comes through. When you actually do the thing, then the information comes through. When you land the thing, the next thing comes through. People always ask me, like, how do I find my life purpose? How do we do this thing? And it's like, have you done the first thing your intuition is telling you to do? Sometimes that's about cleaning up your life and stopping helping people who don't even ask for your help, but we step in and help them. People who ask for your help and then like use you for your help, and then you learn to put boundaries in place again. Usually when you start on this path, there's a lot of cleaning up in your life. It's the same with working with me one-on-one. Like, you work with me, you're gonna get faced with a reality of cleaning up reality that you've ignored, because reality awareness is all about the truth. Reality awareness is all about finding your purpose and living your truth. But sometimes it's facing the hard truths and actually sorting that out that can be really like, and that's why people who come to reality awareness and people who work with me or join Trust Your Intuition, you're really ready to do the work. Like, people don't come here unless you're ready to face it, to really work on it, and to step into the life that you're ready to create, because you usually wind up here too, because you are at a crossroads. You either take this choice and repeat the same situations over and over again, or you're willing to actually change your life and do something different that's really out of the box, that's really scary, that people don't talk about, but it's so you at the same time, and you choose this. I won't lie, it's not easy to face hard feelings that you've buried and stuff that you've swept under the carpet, like, you know, like the toxic relationships you keep having in your life, or the toxic career, or the toxic whatever it is. Like, usually there will be something, or the addictions that you're not willing to face, but, you know, is really like ruling your life, and you're just sick of it. Like, you'll get to a point where you're just like done with that. And it's at that point your life starts to change. But I won't lie, it's not easy. But it does get easier once you start cleared out stuff. Like, you'll get a big whoosh of energy and you'll be like, yes, this is what I'm doing. And then all the stuff comes up. And this is what I was saying, that people quit when it gets hard. People don't want to go deeper. People don't want to look deeper. But then there's people who are like, yeah, it's time to do this. And that's where you are. And you enter trust and intuition. Yeah. So you'll know it's a soul calling, it's a pull. Nelina says, your dress I had 24 years ago messed up. It was reappeared. I was in awe as soon as you came on. Awesome. Yeah, I felt pretty today. I'm wearing my pretty dress for our Vision Quest expansion, because it is important about how you feel and the beauty and the heart expansion. In the Vision Quest expansion, we really talked about, the law of attraction ultimately in a deep way, but how your heart leads you to the fastest route. Now, a lot of people don't trust their heart anymore, because they're like, well, I trusted my heart and, I got hurt, or that person left me, or this relationship happened, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, it's understanding how to follow and trust your heart, trust your intuition, with knowing where those boundary lines are. Like, are you following intuition, or are you following trauma? Are you following intuition, or are you this is the thing where you come in to trust your intuition. Where is it intuition, or is it trauma, or is it pain, or is it your inner child, or is it your shadow? Like, who's actually running the show here? It's all the stuff we do deep into trust and intuition. Yeah? Yeah. Yes. Hi, Kelly. Yes. It's been a minute, but I came on at the right time. Of course you did. What you're saying right now is what I'm experiencing, going through right now. And this is what we talked about in the Vision Quest, about the synchronistic flows. The things will turn up. Like, when you hold the vision of what you want, you know what it is, you'll fall into that synchronistic flow. You'll choose it. Or you can choose the okay, I got to figure it out, I got to sit here. Or you can choose a synchronistic flow, but it's understanding where's that coming from. Is it the inner child? Is it the shadow? Like, what? Right? Is it trauma making me do this? Is it my intuition? How do we know the difference? That's deep what we do in trust and intuition. Yeah? Yeah, Bridget says, I'm now scared to follow my heart. Exactly. And this is the thing that shuts down everything and shuts down life, because we get hurt. And it's like these scar layers, like scar tissue. And in trust and intuition, this is what we really shift. So you can get back to that flowing, trusting space again, because that's what you want. You want to get back to that. Well, I'm assuming you do. To that flowing space that you just, before all the shit happened. And when all the shit happens, then it closes you down. And then you're like trying to figure out, but if I do that again, but I'm getting this message, but I don't want to do that again, because last time you just sort of find yourself in this freeze, stuck, almost treadmill, and we're very usually cut off from our body all the time, because we just don't want to do that again. Yeah. So in trust and intuition, we really work to release all the trauma. It's a big part of understanding your wounds, understanding where those points are on the timeline. We work back, clear them out, understanding which is there's different types of wounds, and it's really getting clear on that, because those wounds block your heart off. They sit in your energy field. They weigh you down. You might be carrying excess weight physically, or it's just you just feel tired all the time, and that's because all of these are stuck in your aura. Yeah. And that clouds your intuition, let alone you're just in freeze mode. You're kind of walking through life and you go this yeah, I'm fine, but you're just not. You're really not. Yeah. Yes. This is crazy that you're on now with all that I'm working on. No, that's called synchronistic flow, and your heart and soul has led you here to hear this message. We were literally just talking about this in the Vision Quest this morning. Yeah. How about I teach you something important? Well, if what I'm saying is not important, then you're not on the right live stream. You're not in the right place. You can just leave reality awareness now if you don't understand the truth of what I'm talking about. Yeah. You either get it or you don't. Unfortunately, that's just how reality works. Yes. Yes. I love that, Kelly. That's the right time. So with Bridget. Perfect, of course. Yeah. Bridget, I feel Bridget came on when you were talking to her. Thought, hey, that's for me. But I missed some of what you were saying to her. I mean, it's always blows my mind when coincidence happens, no coincidence. Yeah, synchronistic heart flow is what it is for sure. Ancient one, all the better to sync up. Yes, it's all synchronistic, divine magic flow. You're always in the right place, the right time. This is something you create in your reality too, right? It's like reality awareness. Like you freaking create your reality. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting, Angela. You just said this morning that you're in freeze mode. It's a trauma response. Yeah. And I want to say, like with a trauma response, like freeze mode, okay? So there's lots of different trauma responses. There's lots of different types of traumas. There's lots of different wounds, okay? We go into the depth of that and trust intuition, because if you don't understand all those pieces, like they're all energy. They're all in your psyche. They're all energy. They're all stuck in your aura, okay? I'm sure you guys know what an aura is, like a big bubble of energy around you. And there's all different types, okay? And this is where in Trust the Intuition, we learn and understand the different types of trauma, wounds, past life, infiltration, tears in the aura, you know, psychic invasion, psychic attack, hammers, like spears, past life, like multi-dimensional, interdimensional, convergence of all of it, and you just get to this point. Because with something like freeze or flight or fight or any of those points, usually, right, most of the time, usually the trauma happened a long time ago or a while ago, months, years, whatever. And it'll get to a point, like you can function, and it'll get to a point in your timeline, and this is why we go over the timelines that are really important as well in Trust Intuition. The timelines of your ages, etc., are so important, and it all converges, yeah? And so it gets to a point where all of a sudden you'll just be, like sometimes it'll be a trigger that's done that for you, and sometimes you'll just come into a point in your life and it'll creep up over days or weeks, and you're just like, oh, what is happening? And little side note, so when you feel like you're losing your mind, or you're just like, the really big traumas coming up and surfacing. So number one, get support with a mentor like myself or someone else that you trust that knows this stuff, okay? Because, you know, people are like, oh, I'm losing my mind, and they go to the doctor and get a pill or something. Like, it's like, this is the trauma actually coming out of your system. And if you know how to ride this, this is how, you know, you heal, right? But it'll get to a point that this, you know, like the freeze or flight or fight, like, again, there's lots of different ones. It sort of hit this point because you can't bury it anymore, right? It's like, okay, I'm done. And what's usually really interesting and amazing too, that you're in a safe place now, and that's why it's also coming up, right? So there's not something wrong with you. Like, you haven't done anything wrong. It's just that actually you've been coping until now, and for whatever reason in your life circumstances, your system, your body, psyche, etc., feels safe, and that's why it's also surfacing, because you're in a safe place that you can heal, right? Trauma won't surface, and things like that won't surface to heal unless you feel safe. So always good to remember. But also synchronistic of how you are here. Destiny says, Vision Quest was so moving and powerful. Major shifts just by watching, listening, could not recommend enough. Yeah, it was so powerful. Whew. I love it. I love it so much. I love it. I love what's come from that. And like, you can just use that every morning as a morning ritual. It's so freaking awesome. So awesome. Okay. So Bridget says, I've been feeling, how dumb could I be with these kinds of people no more, 6+ years. Yeah. And so this, like, oh, how dumb could I have been? Like, that's part of the grieving process. Yeah. I wrote a blog called How Do I Let It Go? I'll see if I can put the link in the comments here for you. It's quite long. Yeah. But it's the most common question that I get asked, and we go into detail in an energetic sense, in trust and intuition about it, because it's so important to understand. Because when you're in there like, oh, how could I be so dumb to do that, blah blah blah, like that's a stage in the grieving process as you look back. So how do we let something go? We grieve it, but you've got to understand the different cycles of the grief. And then inside the grief cycles, there's a stage in here, and then a stage in here, and then a stage in here. And it's so intricate and deep. And that's why a lot of people just don't know how to deal with anything, and they go to the doctor and get a pill, right? And this is where I'm passionate about teaching you guys emotional intelligence and understanding of consciousness to be able to heal. Because if we don't, we're never going to heal properly. So I'll just see if I can find it for you. You can read it afterwards, but if I pop it in here. Sorry, how do I let it go? There it is. That's the one. All right, cool. Yeah, this is the one. Just checking I'm putting in the right link for you guys. So like I said, it's a long blog, but this will help you to understand as well. So the most common question I get asked, how do I let it go? We'll go into the different understandings of grief. And this isn't just about like a big trauma, a big like relationship breakup, and like it can happen, right? And this is the thing people don't understand about trauma and the little layers of clouded judgment of closing your heart down and not wanting to come out of your shell anymore. Like can happen from like, okay, we're gonna meet up, and then at the last minute you don't meet up, and you're like, oh, it's like waiting. Like you'll go through a grief process about that, and if you don't understand, again, the grief process and the intricate nature of it, it just literally clouds your intuition. So anyway, so that might help you. I'll pop that there. And then, so when you're saying, yeah, like, how could I be so dumb? Like, number one, be so gentle on yourself. And I wouldn't be saying how dumb you are and how stupid you are, because that's just like a parent in your ear that you heard, or the way that they spoke to themselves. And it's like you're beating up your inner child when you talk to yourself like that. So we don't want to do that. She's already hurt enough, okay? Or he. So, okay. Yeah, and so how dumb could I be? That's like part of looking back and going, oh my God, that's part of you waking up. That should be celebrated. Yeah? Because that's the part where you go, no more. Because before you get to the point where you don't let that happen in your life anymore, you're in it and you don't even think like that. So you're progressing. Yeah? So that blog can help you as well. I'm a reader, so I'm ready to change this. Awesome. Perfect. So Justin, you asked about the full moon ceremony. So I hold that every month. It is a paid thing. It's not something I do for free. It is in a private group. Yeah, so you can definitely join. So the next full moon is when that is. We've got new moon next week. So it's about 3 weeks away for the full moon ceremony. So Betty said, I had a situation arise at work. I was feeling pulled to address the issue and may have called someone out based on intuition. I don't want to become a target at work, even more than I am, but feel a whole lot of pressure released. That happened this week. Did that happen this week at all? Regardless if it did or not, there's been a lot of like voice speaking truth stuff this week, like the past sort of 2 weeks. It's been like a build up, and then people are just like, no, not tolerating this anymore, and speaking their truth about things. And the whole lot of pressure. And that's the thing, when we speak up for our truth, when we follow and stand our ground and hold out, speak our truth, energetically we feel lighter. Why? Because we've reclaimed our energy. We're not giving our power away anymore. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I said an address the way I did, but I feel like things need to be brought up. I hope things will be okay, but I feel like I needed to be said. I'm not sure why though. I feel I was also meant to hear this right now. Perfect. Perfect, of course, right? I love that these messages find you in the perfect times. So what I was going to say to that, like, and that's the thing, like, especially when we're working on not tolerating shit in our life anymore, and we're changing our life, and we're doing personal development, or whether we are or not, there gets to a point, like, how I just said before, like, you can manage the trauma and cope with it and bury it for a certain amount of time, and then in your life you'll get to a point where you're just like, your body just can't suppress that anymore, body, mind, psyche, etc. can't suppress it anymore, and it will come out. And then there's also a point when we're in situations where we're like getting treated like shit or power taken away or whatever the story is, we'll tolerate it, and they'll just be like, you know what? No. And it'll be at that point where your whole life starts changing, because at this point, like, you've reached a point where you've tolerated it for pretty much your whole life. And then as you not tolerate shit anymore, those little, like, so it's like ages before you said anything, so to speak. Next time, it won't be as long before you say anything. Next time, won't be as long. Next time, won't be as long. Next time, not even going to tolerate that. So actually, sorry, no, not okay. You know, and that's the same with trusting intuition. And it's about, you know, your self-worth, trusting yourself, feeling confident, empowered, and also knowing how to take care of yourself. So a lot of people don't speak up. Number one, because a lot of trauma, throat chakra, wounds, suppression from past lives, childhood, don't speak until you're spoken to, etc., etc. You know, like, it's a lot of, throat chakra is probably the biggest wounding for humans on the planet, right? Not speaking your heart. Yeah, it's the gateway to your heart. So yeah, and so it gets to a point, and I feel on a collective level as well, by the way, so this is a bigger picture version of what's happening too. A lot of people are like, that's enough. And if we look at the world stuff for the past 2 years, a lot of people have reached that tolerance point where they're like, you know what, that's enough. Not tolerating that anymore. Nope, sorry, not okay. Gonna speak up now, or not tolerate it, or actually what you're doing is not okay. And, you know, and that's happening on a global level, as well as people just going, you know what, I don't deserve this anymore. So as hard as the last 2 years have been on a collective world scale, you know, it's shaken people up into a reality where they're like, you know what, no, I'm worth more than this. You know, so yeah. Yes, awesome. Friday just gone. Yeah, see, just recent, just like the last 2 weeks. So yeah, awesome. All right, thank you, Mary from Scotland. So awesome, Bridget, you're so welcome. So Trust Your Intuition training school is open, but in celebration of the opening, I'm opening Trust Your Intuition, the certification, which is our 6-month certification. It's a program that we run every year. And next year, I have a feeling, I don't think I'll run it every year after that. So next year will be the last live training that I'll run. You get access to all the previous trainings. You get a pile of like heaps of useful information for trusting intuition, for healing, and for stepping into becoming a certified intuitive healer. Now, you don't have to do the certification. It is lifetime access, so you don't have to finish it in 6 months, but we do start our next live round next year. The early bird is open now in celebration of the training school opening, but once I close the doors for early bird next week, there will never be early bird again. So if it's something that you've been thinking of, definitely now is the time to get in. The link is in the title of this live stream. I've also pinned it to the comments. You can find it on my page. You can send me a message if you've got any questions about it. So yes, awesome. Trusting intuition, taking back your power. It's going good. Yeah, it's a funny thing, right? When we speak our truth, people will rise with us or they will fall away. Yeah. The most important thing is that you rise in your power and truth, because that's where you feel better, and life is all about feeling better. It's supposed to. And this is how we do it. Yeah. So link is there. Send me a message if you've got questions, and I shall see you real soon. Bye.